Hi, I'm Marcus Bronzy. This is How to Kill an Hour, and today we're looking at the Polestar 2. So, the front is looking good already. Body coloured logo here is a nice touch. A lot of people don't know what the Polestar is at the moment. If you're into cars, cool, but I've had people saying that this is a nice Citroen, this is a nice Chevrolet, and this is a nice, what kind of car is that again? But it looks good. Working down to the grille here, even though I don't think it's necessary because this is an electric vehicle, we actually still have room for intake where you can see some of the engine design here. This might be something to do with the way that it intakes air and runs. I believe it takes some of the heat off the battery to help you get climate control without using as much energy, but we'll get more into that later. There's a little camera here at the front, which is here for adaptive cruise control, and also no doubt would help out with the 360-degree parking as well. Got some parking sensors on the left and right, and a lower grille piece here. I do like the split actually between where the top and the bottom of the front is here. It's decent. Around here we have the Pixel technology LED lights. Long story short, when you have your beams on, sensors work out where other vehicles are on the road and dips the headlights accordingly so you don't blind other vehicles that are coming in your direction. It's got a nice little logo in there as well. They've also got some LED fog lights, and if you're traveling at 19 miles an hour or lower and indicate left or right, they'll actually brighten up the pathway to the left and right of your vehicle. So if you're going at a slow speed when it's dark, it helps to maximize visibility. So here we've got enough space for your charge leads and your adapters, and not really much more. Maybe a small bag, space for your mobile phone or tablet here. Let's lift that up there. And here we got a puncture repair kit with a little pump and some goo to fill up your tyre and repair small punctures. So I don't know if you want to count this as proper storage, because there's just about enough to fit the leads in and a few manuals. Yeah, like I said, maybe a mobile phone here. That's about it. Right, come around to the side of the car. The standard edition comes with 19-inch alloys. The version we've got have got 20 inches and they look quite rude. We've got the Brembo brakes behind them as well in this gold yellow colour. A nice little bit of detail there on the lid. Things are taking a turn in a direction that I don't like here. There's nothing wrong with having the name of your vehicle printed on the side of it. I mean, we've seen Quattros from Audi, like the SQ2 has Quattro here, but this is a sticker, which means that it might start to peel off after a little while. You don't want a sticker on your car, do you? Come on, print it on properly, Polestar. Tidy little design on the wing mirrors, body coloured with nice LEDs here when you're indicating. They look nice, and also if you come around the other side, you can actually see that they consist entirely of mirror. There's no black line around them. So when you do adjust the wing mirrors, that whole thing actually moves. So the charge port is where you'd usually have the petrol cap in a car. Some electric vehicles have them at the front, some have them in different places, but this is where you put the petrol in. Also, you see that there's an adapter for a high-speed charge as well, which gives you that charge speed of, well, as quick as 40 minutes. But you can only charge as fast as the charger that you're plugged into. Around the back, really enjoy this lighting detail here. The way it connects in the middle. It's got a Tron vibe to it. I mean, we're seeing it a lot now with cars in 2021, whether they're electric or not. And I think this works really well for the Polestar 2. We've also got another body colored insignia here as well, so that you can confuse more people who don't know what your car is. Nice Citroen. Nice Chevrolet. It's Polestar! We've got more sensors around the back, and there are some cameras concealed for the 360-degree parking. I can't see where they are. To open the boot, you can use a button on the key fob, a button in the front on the driver's side, There's also a handle here, which is right above the number plate, which if I'm honest, it's a bit of a weird place to put it because it must get absolutely filthy there after a few miles. But you don't need to use your hands to open the boot. You can do a bit of ballet. I remember this on the Volvo XC40. You can there we go, way! With just your foot, open up the boot. You've got some really nice boot space in here. You've got 405 litres of boot space in the Polestar 2. Fold those seats down in the middle and you've got 1,095. Before we get into some other bits we can do in the middle, a couple of little cheeky tricks in here. So very Swedish, very Volvo. You've got two little hooks, this little fold out section, two little hooks, and some little bits of elastic, because if you do a little bit of shopping, you don't want it rattling around this big boot. So wine drinkers, I reckon you'd like this, you know, tuck a few bottles of wine here, drive home, you're safe. If you need a bit of extra room, we've got this little dip here. We have got the puncture repair kit at the front, which means there's no spare tyre here, where you could probably put cool bags or other devices that can, if you just pop round here, plug into this 12 volt adapter we've got. Let me get around. 12 volt adapter we've got there. We've also got this. Now to see how this works, first I'm going to run it around to the middle of the car, then I want you to join me, but stay there for just a sec. I call this snack hole. Yeah, that's right, I call it the snack hole. When you fold down this little center console at the back where you have your two drinks holders, you actually get access to the snack hole, which for me means I can put chocolates, sweets, fizzy drinks and just grab them during the drive. I like the fact that you've been looking after the rear seat passengers, Polestar. I respect that. And it doesn't stop there. Come inside, I'll show you a few more tricks. But in the back, the Polestar 2 has got heated seats for your passengers left and right, two USB-Cs and air conditioning as well. It's nice to know that the passengers at the back get looked after. I was a kid, yeah, one of the younger kids in my family. And let me tell you this, it's never fun sitting at the back of the car with no aircon, let alone heated seats. Can you imagine not having a USB in 2021 being a kid? Nah, you've looked after us here, Polestar. When it comes to space at the back, if you have someone who's 6'3" like myself in front of you and they're fully spread out and they have all the space they need, you're not going to fit another person that's 6'3" behind them. That being said, if you're under 6 foot, maybe 5'10", 5'11", you have another 5'10", 5'11" person sitting behind you, there'll be better space. When it comes to the vertical space, the headroom, we're all right, but there's only a couple of inches above my head. So I'd say for kids, fine. For large people, the back has got great things like heated seats and USB ports and some air conditioning like you should in 2021, but a little bit too cramped for me. Let's have a look at the front. Before we move on to the front where I'm sitting, got a little issue with the back window there. Yeah, that's all you're getting out of it. It's not going all the way down. I mean, you've given the back all of the luxury of USB-Cs, heated seats, air conditioning, but they can't get the window down all the way. To be fair, it's a minor gripe for me. Some people might feel a bit more of a way of it. Why am I only demonstrating this when I'm sitting in the front? That is because I've deduced there's a seat sensor of sorts, which means unless you have somebody sitting in the driver's seat when it's unlocked, a lot of the things in the vehicle don't work, like the rear electric windows. I guess it's a security setting. It's something that I'd like to be able to adjust. Some people prefer things that are super tight and don't work unless the passenger's in the car. Some people might want to be able to leave the car and let other people use the facilities in the vehicle while they nip to the shops or something like that. But you know, that's how it is. So in the driver's side, you've got plenty of leg room. I feel really comfortable. I think a nifty trick to this is the fact that on the floor in the driver's side, there's a dip in the flooring, which seems to give you what feels like more depth when it comes to the area you have for your feet. Yep, so a good bit of space for my legs there. Plenty of space for my knees underneath the adjustable steering wheel, which you've got plenty of movement with there. Got good space in the door bins for some water. Got a little bit more storage here under the center console. I do like the way Polestar / Volvo put together storage in vehicles. You've got another space for a drink there. yeah, a bit more storage you've got here and here as well, which is a great place to pop your mobile phone if you want to keep it out of the way while you're driving, out of eye line as well, which is really important in the UK because police want to make sure that your phone is totally out of sight when you're driving around. Over the dash here, you've got a pretty simple display. Gives you all the information you need, you know, obviously your car speed, all of the smart assistive tech that it uses to keep you on the road, and of course lets you keep an eye on your power and your charge. It's got a heated steering wheel, heated seats. Well, it's going to have them at the front if the back's got them as well. There's 2 USB-C chargers here at the front, so you can't use old school, aka USB-A leads. So even if you've got an old school iPhone lead, you need to get yourself a new one to plug in. An iPhone, so we'll get into that in just a second. There's also space for you to wirelessly charge your device. There's a very simple set of buttons here in the center console. You've got front and rear heating and anti-fogging buttons. You've got a massive knob here. We all like a big knob for turning the volume up and down and playing and pausing your music.
An undeniable male reaction to his own sister. Yes, there'd been a ruttish air about Aaliyah, something wildly wanton.
Okay, that's saying a lot about the stuff that I like to read, isn't it? That's from June. The film for that's coming out soon. God. Right, and hazards you have here. You also have a very simple gear stick here where you can put the car into drive, neutral, reverse or park. It's got a lovely little hole in it. Looks nice, looks futuristic, looks very Swedish, very slick. I feel like this is one of the nicer interiors I've enjoyed using. So in the center console, we have the infotainment system, which is 11 inches, a bit smaller than the Mach-E and the Tesla Model 3, but it's a very simple user interface. If we go here, you can see top left, press that, you get to see all of the parking sensors on the vehicle. There's 360 degrees there, so as you move around, you can make sure that you park without scraping your rims and hitting other people or things. You can also adjust those so you can look at each of the cameras one by one. It's like the rear there, it's the front one. It's always good to have the option there. You can also adjust the parking sensors and rear auto brake. And there's settings like wheel guidelines and volume park assist you can get into there as well. In terms of the vehicle, it's very easy to adjust the steering feel. There's light, standard and firm, whack on sports mode. There's one pedal drive on this as well on the Polestar 2, which personally I'm not really a fan of. And then there's creep, which I think is when you're in traffic using assistive driving. I think it helps you kind of creep when you take your foot off the gas and move off a bit slowly. I may be wrong, so we might have to just cut that out, but that's where I think we are with it. Here's all of your assistive functions as well. Driver support with adaptive cruise, lane keeping aid, driver alert to tell you when to get a coffee, road sign information, collision avoidance and BLIS, which is all stuff that Volvo have been doing for years. The XC40 had this a few years back, and I feel like this is more refined in the Polestar 2. Charge, you can choose what your charge limit is. They do recommend that you keep your vehicle at a certain charge limit. 90% is the Polestar recommended to preserve the lifespan of the battery. Generally, most people say 80%, so I've set it to 80%. And here you can adjust the amperages there. You can check your car status, how it locks, adjust your interior lights, which look really good, but I don't think we'll be able to see it this time of the day. We'll try and get a night shot and we'll pop that in later. There's exterior lights, your mirrors, which are actually rimless on this car, so you can, when you adjust them, the whole mirror actually moves. It means that you get more mirror space and less obstruction from a frame around it. You can adjust the wipers as well. And then that leads you onto the apps. So you can download apps for this. There is access to the Google Play Store if you sign in. We're not going to do that today. We're going to look at a couple of classic apps here. So you've got Maps here, which is something that's great to use because it's Google Maps. It's always been my preference when I'm driving around. Even when I use an iPhone or CarPlay, I always use Apple Maps. And because this is all integrated, you can say things like, hey Google, I'd like to go to Oxford Circus.
Oxford Circus Underground Station is 1 hour, 9 minutes from your location by car in moderate traffic.
All right. There we go. And it's got the lovely Google interface, which is great. You can press start there. And then there's everything else that you can do with Google Maps as you do on your smart device.
This route avoids a slowdown on the A4 in London. You are on the fastest route. You should reach your destination by 13:53.
And of course, because this is hooked up to the internet, you get live traffic updates. And I think Google is my favorite navigation device. And I always say I don't understand why car companies try to put their own navigation systems in their vehicles. Just use what's great and integrate it in your car, which is either Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, or just put Google Maps in it. Speaking of Apple CarPlay, apparently there was a rumor that you couldn't use Apple CarPlay with the Polestar 2s. And I've gone online and apparently you can. I need to turn off Bluetooth, which I've turned off on my phone. I'll turn off Bluetooth on this as well, wherever it is. Settings, Bluetooth. Now if I connect my phone, it's supposedly Apple CarPlay is supposed to work, but I don't know how to. Hey Google, turn on Apple CarPlay.
Sorry, I didn't understand.
That was never going to work, was it? But at the moment, I can't get Apple CarPlay to work. I can only presume it's a simple fix. Come on, Polestar, make it easy, make it so I can plug my phone in and Apple CarPlay connects, because I like it, do you know what I mean? Android Auto does work, but I've not got a USB-C to USB-C to plug my Android phone in because I'm an Apple guy, do you know what I mean? But and of course you've got a lovely panoramic roof as well, which helps you see what's going on up there, which is, if you're in the UK, is usually quite grey, but today it looks all right. Anyway, let's take it on the road. Doesn't mess around. 0 to 60 in 4.5 seconds is nice, and you know what the torque's like in electric vehicles. And in terms of the drive, it's not bombastic, it's not rude, it's cool, it's solid. Again, because it's an electric vehicle, we've got a very low center of gravity, so it feels like it sticks to the road. Is it tear out crazy? No. Is it solid, Volvo-like? Yeah, it is. Another thing I like is the fact that you've got the Google integration, so the sat nav actually gives you the display of the map on the digital dash. And if you do want to get further detail, you can get more information from the 11-inch infotainment screen. And you can also do stuff like this. Hey Google, tell me a joke.
Why can't Dalmatians play hide and seek? Because they are always spotted.
Hey Google, turn the heat up.
Showing results for fan heater along your route.
Hey Google, turn the cabin temperature up.
Got it. Turning up the temperature.
But it doesn't do this. Hey Google, turn on Apple CarPlay.
Sorry, I don't understand.
Come on, Polestar, sort a brother out. Since the recording of this video, Polestar have promised that there will be further integration with iOS devices. If you have any other questions about the Polestar 2, please drop us a comment and don't forget to like and subscribe. I've been Marcus Bronzy and this has been How to Kill an Hour. Until next time.